Now at 6, McDonald County, Missouri leaders get together to discuss the future of the county. Plus, how the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks today celebrated its blood donors. And we'll break down the proposal for a new voting system for Missouri.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A damaged bridge on I-44 near Joplin is back open to traffic after MoDOT engineers deemed it structurally sound. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. While the bridge itself is open, the cloverleaf of ramps leading onto and off of I-44 by the bridge are closed. The bridge was damaged yesterday when an oversized crane went under it on State Highway 59 and struck the bridge's girders. The girders and concrete surrounding them were damaged, but MoDOT engineers last night determined the bridge to be structurally sound and safe. However, they are repairing it.
But the areas where the worst damage was, we're trying not to, we're not allowing traffic on those. So the bridge is safe. I mean, if it wasn't, it would be a whole different ball game this morning. We would, if there was any inclination that we could not put traffic over these bridges, we would not. So we're, very confident, but we're also going to be inspecting, these bridges daily, seeing if anything changes.
The ramp cloverleaf is closed to protect workers while they complete those repairs. Authorities catch a man who's been wanted for about a month for thefts, property damage, and resisting arrest. Officers arrested James Hebert III in Jasper County, Missouri. Hebert's capture was a high priority for law enforcement as he was wanted for a number of thefts, property damage, and resisting arrest. Police also believe Hebert was involved in 2 recent high-speed pursuits. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Well, of course, we had some scattered showers and thunderstorms out there to start the day, and then just a lot of clouds most of the day. So it kept our temperatures down just a bit. But we've had some more sunshine kind of peeking out over the past couple hours. But we still have a couple isolated little guys. You can see a couple little showers north of Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, a little cluster popping up near Rich Hill, just north of Nevada. So very isolated over the next few hours, and then we're dry. All the big severe weather has been down to the south across the southern parts of the U.S. Most of us upper 70s to near 80 right now. We slide back through the 70s, 60s, eventually down to about 62 later on tonight. But we heat up for us tomorrow. A few scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night. Hot Saturday, severe threat Saturday night. So we're going to be breaking all this down for you here in a bit.
See you soon. McDonald County, Missouri leaders came together today to discuss the future of the county. The county's Chamber of Commerce hosted its inaugural State of the County Vision 2030 luncheon. Featured several speakers, including mayors, county commissioners, state representatives, and the Crowder College president. They discussed opportunities and initiatives to help the county grow.
Teamwork and vision, understanding that they live in a good place. And despite the obstacles that we know, it's time to not focus on those anymore and start focusing on things that we can do right and things that are good for us. And I think that was kind of the general gist of the overall message.
Chamber hopes to make the State of the County luncheons a yearly event. There's a push to add a new voting system in Missouri. It's called ranked choice voting. Reporter Joe McClain digs into details of that proposed system.
In our current election system, you may have wanted to support a third-party candidate, but were worried it would split your party's vote and you would end up with an even less preferable candidate. That wouldn't happen with ranked choice voting. It lets you vote for your second, third, and fourth choices as well, and so on. And then it all comes down to the counting. Winston Apple, who is a Democrat, filed the proposal for ranked choice voting, which would get rid of primary elections in Missouri.
But if no candidate wins a majority, you start dropping candidates off, starting with the one with the least first choice votes, and then you redistribute the second choice votes for the voters that had voted for that candidate, and you just repeat that process in rounds until a candidate has 50% plus one of the votes, and then that candidate wins. The big advantage of that system, just done straight like that, is that the winning candidate has the support of a majority of voters.
He said you would likely see fewer negative campaign ads.
When you know that you may get a seat or win based on somebody's second or third choice vote, you tend not to want to attack your opponent quite so viciously.
Apple says because the two major parties wouldn't be guaranteed a candidate in a head-to-head race, it would hold the parties more accountable to voters. I spoke to Missouri Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft, the state's top election official and Republican candidate for governor. He is staunchly against ranked choice voting.
I think what's really happening is that you have people that have a political objective. They are unhappy with either who's being elected or what's passing. So they're saying, let's change the rules to put a thumb down on the scale so that we can do better.
Other opponents add that the system is confusing to voters, and the time it takes to count the votes, which could be days, would lead to less confidence in elections.
Now, state agencies predict that the system, if adopted, would require a one-time cost of at least $245,000 and ongoing costs of at least $332,000 each general election year. However, with the elimination of primary elections, the agencies estimate the state would possibly save $7 million each general election year. Still ahead, the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks celebrates its blood donors. We'll pay a visit. Plus, the Pittsburgh Community Theater hosts their annual Junior Stars Summer Camp. Today is World Blood Donor Day. In Southwest Missouri and Southeast Kansas, more than 40 hospitals depend exclusively on the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks for blood and blood products. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has details. Apparently, we're having some technical difficulties with that. We'll go on to our next story. Pittsburgh Community Theater is hosting their annual Junior Stars Summer Camp. The camp is a 2-week-long summer intensive that ends with the performance of that year's production. Kids ages 6 through 12 learn and enhance their acting, singing, dancing, and social skills throughout the entirety of the camp.
I hope that kids take a love of theater and a confidence in who they are as a person. I like to tell my kids that on the stage, we are safe. We can make mistakes, we can be ourselves, we can be someone else, and we will not be judged for it. We will be loved for who we are and what we give to our community.
Well, first of all, I guess in a childcare setting, I think it promotes great ideals of determination and hard work, while also working on like teamwork and social skills and stuff like that.
The performances are going to be on June 16th at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. A little later, some local high school Missouri baseball players earn All-American recognition.
Plus, we're going to heat up over the next few days, but also thunderstorms in the forecast. Details coming up. Well, we had some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms out there during the morning hours. A lot of clouds most of the day, but sun's been peeking out over the past couple hours. So most of us, high temps right around 80 during the afternoon. Nice shot, Indigo Sky, casino and resort. You can see those cumulus clouds across the region. We do still have a little bit of smoke out there still in the upper atmosphere. Of course, all the wildfires up across Canada. Not super thick, but it picks up a little bit more for us tomorrow evening. So you may see sunset, sunrises, a little reddish tint out there. Of course, it drops the air quality a little bit, which is never good. Temperature 77, Nevada 79, Anderson 84, Veneta. We have Chanute sitting at 79. 7th and Rangeline looks pretty good. Also 79, westerly winds at about 5 miles per hour. Through the evening, if you're going to be outside, of course, it doesn't get dark till after 9. Remember, next week, our evening daylight hours start shrinking back up once again. But it looks really nice throughout the evening. Drop back through the 70s, 60s, down to about 62 later on tonight. All right, we have had a few isolated little guys that have popped up over the past couple hours. One little cluster near Butler, got one little guy just to the east of Chanute, a couple little showers near Pittsburgh, another little guy south of Veneta. These will only be out there for the next couple hours and then die off. All the big severe weather has been down across the southeastern parts of the U.S. Tornadoes throughout the afternoon hours today. But what caused our rain this morning, these are our upper level winds, so this little kink right in here, a little wave. Then out to the west, we have another one moving into Arizona, and that will change our weather up once again as we head into the weekend. All right, let's go through time. Tonight, pretty calm. Drop back lower 60s. Let's go to the noon hour for you tomorrow. Lower 80s, partly to mostly sunny skies. Most of us near 90 for an afternoon high. 86 in Nevada, 88 in Parsons, 88 in Miami. Tomorrow night, we are going to have a cluster of storms kind of riding out along Kansas-Oklahoma state line, but it looks like it's going to dive kind of south, so I think it's only going to affect our far southern counties. And then a few scattered thunderstorms late tomorrow night into Friday morning. Then Friday looks fine. Temps mainly into the mid-80s. As we go into Friday night, we'll start to see temperatures overnight lows warming up. Overnight lows only right around 68 to 70 degrees. All right, day planner for you Thursday, 62 in the morning, noon 82, 86 by 4, high temp of 89. As we look into the weekend, the heat kicks in, lower 90s on Saturday, but we have this wave out to the west. This is going to produce severe thunderstorms across central Kansas. They're going to dive south and east. As of now, 3 days out, looks like timing for these to get in 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m., but most likely strong to severe. So we need to watch that over the next few days. 89 tomorrow, 88 on Friday, 92 Saturday. So if we look at our thunderstorm chances, early Friday morning, most of Friday's dry. Late Saturday, most of Saturday's dry. Early Sunday, most of Father's Day is dry. So these are kind of overnight storms.
Yeah, it's going to be wet and dry and wet and dry and wet and dry.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ted. We told you today is World Blood Donor Day. Today in southwest Missouri and southeast Kansas, more than 40 hospitals depend exclusively on the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks for blood and blood products. KOAM's Fernanda Silva now has that story.
James Bales is a special blood donor. Regularly, he receives a message from the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks saying that he's needed.
My blood has certain antigens which align with a particular individual that needs the matching antigens and transfusions. The individual requires routine transfusions, and I get notified a week prior to, and then I set up the appointment, and they draw the blood, and the units go to Springfield, and the individual receives those units.
Bales doesn't know specifically who receives his blood and for what reason, but he's happy to help and encourage others to do so.
Well, because a ready supply is needed for any situations that may occur, whether vehicular accident, a natural disaster. Blood will be in short supply, so it needs to be stored or stockpiled, so to speak.
But most donors don't have their blood directed to a specific person.
Giving blood, for some reason, has always made me feel good, not just about giving, but also it just makes me feel physically better to give blood. They're doing good for their community, and people who've been in accidents or having surgeries or anything like that, they're needing blood, and by doing that, you're helping them out.
It takes around 200 blood donations every day to meet the needs of the hospitals in the area. Last year, almost 30,000 people sat in a chair just like this to help the cause.
We never know when we're going to need blood. You know, there's not one of us who doesn't know someone dealing with cancer or dealing with heart disease, certainly accident victims. Those patients need blood every day in their treatments. But the other part of it is when those accidents happen, when those tragedies happen, the blood needs to be ready on the shelf, ready to go.
Reporting in Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
With just one donation, you can help as many as 3 different patients. To learn how to support the cause, go to KOAMnewsnow.com. John Dales joins us now. Missouri high school baseball all-state teams just announced.
Yeah, that's right. And several players from the 4 state areas are on those teams. And early this afternoon, the Cardinals try to avoid a sweep to get their season back on track. Those stories and more coming up next. Welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. The Missouri High School Baseball Coaches Association just released its all-state team from this past season, and plenty of local names and faces are featured on that list. Beginning first with Class 1, the Liberal Bulldogs, who advanced to the state quarterfinals, have 7 all-state players. First team features Peyton Morrow, who's committed to play baseball at Northwest Missouri State, along with Justin Payne, Then Chase Ray, Nate Smith, and Cole Wiles on the second team, with Caleb Coleman and Brody Wilson receiving honorable mention. Class 2 features a few different schools. Purdy's Ezekiel Garcia is a first-team infielder. His teammate Travis Hughes on the second team with Pierce City's Clayton Rayleigh. Then Josh Brown, Boston Getz, both from Purdy, along with Miller's Brady Johnson, round out the local players to receive honorable mention. To Class 4, Aurora's Hayes Hoffman and Nevada's Case Sanderson on the first team. Honorable mention, full of names from the 4 states: Marcus Young, Jason Garner, Aiden Clapper from Monette, along with Cade Bayshore from Nevada, and Aurora's Keith Hoffman. Lastly, 3 Webb City Cardinals are the Class 5 All-State performers. The Darnell brothers, Cy and Kaler, along with catcher Sean Hunt, are all on the second team All-State. Meanwhile, the Joplin Outlaws snapped their losing streak last night with a dominant 9-3 win over Sedalia and have a chance to make it 2 in a row tonight. The Bombers are the only team Joplin's beaten on the road so far this season. Last night's 9-3 victory was highlighted by the play of Landon Meyer. The Cloud County Community College product threw 7 1/3 scoreless innings on the mound, paired that with 2 hits and an RBI at the plate. We'll see if more tonight brings more of the same. To pro baseball, maybe you saw, yesterday was a disaster for the Cardinals. Catcher Wilson Contreras took his frustrations out on a water cooler in the midst of another blowout loss. Today, St. Louis tries to salvage the last game of its series against the Giants. We start in the second inning, Cardinals down 2-0, bases loaded, and Tommy Edman belts one deep to right and out for a grand slam, just the second of his career. It puts the Cardinals up 4-2. We skip ahead into the 7th inning, where it was then 5-2 St. Louis, a runner on second, and Mike Yastrzemski, keep that name in mind. He goes the opposite way off Jordan Montgomery. That drives in a run for San Francisco. The lead's cut to 2, but the Cards chance to close it out. Top 9, 2 out, 2 strikes. Yastrzemski up again, and he smashes one to right field for a game-tying home run. Cardinal broadcaster Chip Carey said he couldn't believe it. Cardinals fans used to it by now, though. That sent the game into extras, where the Giants score 3 in the 10th inning. They go on to win 8-5. Royals hoping to stop the bleeding as well. They've lost 8 in a row. After last night's win by Oakland, Kansas City now holds the title of worst record in baseball. They've got one more shot at Cincinnati tonight. First pitch in about 45 minutes. Left-hander Daniel Lynch will be looking for his first win of the season. That's all for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to have more on a kids' summer camp hosted by the Pittsburgh Community Theater. Plus, a Missouri man has died after eating an uncooked oyster. We're going to have tips on making sure you stay safe. And Europe passes the world's first regulations of artificial intelligence. Hope you join us for those stories and a lot more. It's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The weather out there at the moment, pretty pleasant, Doug.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. We're going to drop back into lower 60s later on tonight. 89 tomorrow, so we are going to heat up. Few scattered thunderstorms late tomorrow night. Severe thunderstorm chance Saturday evening.
Final sports notes.
Outlaws, big win last night. Play the same team tonight, trying to make it 2 in a row and get back into first place.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.